going to be a tutorial for how to use Logger Pro. I may have to split it in a couple videos depending on the memory that's used and whatnot. You should have a few pieces of information around. One would be this graphical method summary. It should be in the front of your composition book, taped in as a small yellow sheet. I'll probably also upload this to both physics and honors physics in the additional files page on my website. There's a bunch of things to look at here. We'll talk about them in class, but some of it deals with how do you modify data to get a linear fit, because there's times where a linear fit's very useful in terms of thinking about how to analyze things. You should also have this Using Logger Pro handout. It's for our school computers, so we're using version 3.8. You'll probably be using version 3.9 if you download it at home. Again, in class, you have a handout for how to download this at home. It's perfectly free to do that using our district site license. Later on, we'll look at this, which are several samples of how to graph things. The top graph will be your initial shape. The bottom graph will be if you have to linearize it, what does it look like? If you don't have to linearize the data, the top and the bottom sketch here should look the same. And again, notice there's no units. It's just a quick rough sketch. There's also places for a mathematical model. Finally, I've handwritten down some data for examples. I'll also put those on my website in Physics and Honors Physics as Logger Pro sample data. The first graph we're going to do is from this data, and to put things in a y equals mx plus b format, for bounce height of a ball and drop height of a ball, it's going to be bh equals something times dh plus 0 centimeters because we have a y-intercept of 0. The second example we're going to look at is a bit more complicated. It's going to be an inverse relationship comparing the cross-sectional area of wires and the resistance. So to do that, we're going to have to manipulate the equation a little bit to get a linear fit. Again, we'll talk about that as we go. All right, so let's get started with Logger Pro.